What's good, everybody? It's your boy Timbo, and thank you guys for checking out my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe. And if you guys been here before, thank you for watching another one of my videos. By the title, you guys can probably guess or know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about my relationship with Kobe Bryant and what he meant to me. I'm going to talk about the story of how I met Kobe, how I started working with him, and how he became a big brother to me, a real mentor and a figure. And I have my notebook here because I know sometimes when I talk about Kobe and the situation of the helicopter incident with everyone on it, and then speak about my relationship with him, my mom, I get emotional. And so kind of to not get sidetracked and not tear up as much, I have a notebook with a bunch of notes and things I want to talk about, and I occasionally might look at this for just for some help. Just a bunch of bullet points and kind of keep me from getting emotional. So thank you guys again for checking out the video, and yeah, let's get right into it. I want to start by saying prayers to the family and friends lost in the tragic helicopter accident, and I want to read off the names. I do apologize if I mispronounce any names. It's not on purpose, I'm so sorry. So prayers to the family and friends of Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, Peyton Chester, Sarah Chester, Alyssa Antebelli, Carrie Antebelli, John Antebelli, Christina Mauser, and Ara Zobian. If I pronounce those names wrong, I'm so sorry, but prayers to the family and friends from that tragic incident. I know I'm making this video for the year passing of everyone lost, and I know it's a very sad time, and their memories and everything we did with them will live on with us because they meant so much to us. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get to the video. All right, so growing up with my parents, my mom and dad, they were huge Laker fans. I grew up in a straight Laker household. Like, my mom was born and raised in Los Angeles. My dad was born and raised in Los Angeles. They met in college in Los Angeles. I'm not gonna say the college is, personal, but Los Angeles meant the world to them. The Lakers meant like Magic Johnson to Kobe to everyone in between. It just meant the world to them. So growing up, all I ever really had was Lakers stuff, like Lakers backpack, Lakers notebooks, Laker jerseys. Every day we watched a Laker game. Well, obviously not every day, but every time they played, we watched a Laker game. My dad would come home for it, we watched the game. My mom would be there, and we always watched a Laker game. So growing up in a Laker household, all I knew was Kobe, 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 Kobe. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Just like watching him growing up, like back when he was 8, it was just phenomenal. Like, he's just an amazing player, and I always wanted to meet him, and I always wanted to be like him, to be honest. Like, he inspired me as a kid to do better, work harder. And the number one thing I always remembered after meeting him and growing up is Mamba mentality. Like, Mamba mentality, Mamba mentality. And so, in my opinion, growing up as a child, Mamba mentality meant work hard. Work harder than those on the court, be the best person you can be on the court, and you're gonna be a dog, you're gonna be the number one player, outwork everyone on the court. And that's what I thought for a long time growing up, until I met him, and he actually explained what Mamba mentality really meant. And from growing up, having an idea of Mamba mentality was, then meeting him at USC for the first time, having a Mamba mentality, and then Arizona, and then one more time in Los Angeles when he made that beautiful video for my mom. Each time I learned a little bit more what Mamba mentality meant and how it stuck with me and helped me get through it. And so what I want to talk about next is how I actually met Kobe. So I actually was a freelance photographer and videographer for the college I went to, and I loved it. I love photos, I love videos. I kind of just picked it up and just was playing with it. Then I started doing more sports, and I was doing nature, and I was doing landscape, and I was doing family portraits. But what really stuck to me was sports, because all I did growing up was play sports. I played basketball, I played soccer till I broke my shin, played baseball till I realized I was trash, so I quit. But I played a bunch of different sports and tried out. I even did track and field. I don't know why. I run super slow. But I tried out so many sports and I loved it, and I loved the action. And so I was a freelance photographer and videographer for a while, and I helped the school out, and then had an incident with the school, and so we both went our separate ways, and so that was different, you know, not being with the people I loved and care about, all my friends, my roommate, and starting off new. It was different, starting off new and starting off fresh, and I remember pretty vividly that point in my life and my point in my career. I was really just destroyed, like super sad, and just honestly lost. So I invested so much in photography, so much in videography, and when I wasn't working, doing a career that I really wanted to do, it just kind of put me in a spiral. And I stopped taking photos and videos for like a month and a half. I took a break from school for a little bit, like from my classes and stuff, just kind of try to focus on what I love and the things I appreciate. And it took a while, but taking that break was necessary. And then eventually I went back home for winter break, and a good friend of mine, actually friends, Shaquan Aaron and Shalexis Aaron, at the time they both played for USC, and I finally got off my ass after realizing, you know, I got to get up, I got to keep going. I can't let certain situations hold me back. I finally got off my ass and called up Shaquan. I was like, hey, I know you play for USC. I'm doing freelance videos and photography now. Like, can you give me a media pass? Can you tell me who the director is? And I called Shalexis as well, because they're brother and sister, but Shaquan played on the men's team and Shalexis played on the women's team. I called them up. They're like, yeah, I'll talk to the director. Here's like the email and stuff. So I talked to them. And so I went to a couple of Shaquan's games. It was cool. But when I met Kobe was at Shalexis' game. And so I went to the game. I was courtside at the USC. I was, you know, at the Galen Center. I was setting up my camera. I'm sitting there. I'm just waiting for the game to start. And these two people next to me, I remember it was like the trainer and then I think the ball person. And they were just talking like, yeah, Kobe Bryant this, Kobe Bryant that. I love Kobe, he's the greatest. And they were talking about Kobe for like 10, 15 minutes. And I, like, not to be rude, but I turned around, I'm like, yo, why do you keep bringing up Kobe? Like, why do you keep talking about him? And they're like, oh, he's right there. I said, what? I turn around, Kobe was courtside. I was like, yo, this motherfucking Kobe Bryant, y'all see this? Like, y'all see this shit? They were like, yeah, that's why we're talking about him. And so I'm just sitting there, you know, sweating, peeling, like, oh man, it's my neighborhood idol. I'm gonna be shaking. I'm like, all right, I gotta walk up to him, I gotta say something. I can't say nothing stupid, I gotta spit. Like, I gotta be like I can't show him I'm a big fan, but I gotta show, like, you know, I respect you. So I'm just sitting there like 20 minutes going by. I'm just sitting like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? All right, now or never. So I just walked up to him. And the thing is, right when I walked up to him, what messed up is that he took pictures and was talking to people for like 30, 40 minutes, because he got to the game an hour and a half early. Like 30, 40 minutes. And the second I walked up, he sat down. I felt so bad. I walked up, I was like, hey Kobe, I know you just sat down, but I just wanted to see if I could take a quick photo with you, because growing up, you're really a big idol. The same way I'm stuttering now, I'm remembering I was stuttering then. Like I'm a big fan, like, you're my idol, can I get a quick photo? He's like, yeah, I got you. So we got back up and he took a photo, and I was like, all right, thank you, Kobe. Like, I shook his hand, I appreciate it. And then after he started a conversation, and it was weird because a lot of times when I speak with athletes or celebrities, it's kind of like a high and by, like, all right, you got your picture, all right, cool, have a good day, just peace. And you just move on. But after we took the photo, he started asking me questions like, so how long have you been doing photos and videos? Do you love it? Like, this is your career? Like, how's your artwork? And he's asking me questions and questions and questions, and I'm just answering. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I'm having a full-blown conversation with Kobe Bryant, someone I look up to, someone that I inspire to be. And he's standing in front of me having a full-blown conversation. And I I was really just like lost in the moment. And it didn't even feel like I was talking to him after a while. After like 5 minutes of him asking questions and me asking him questions going back and forth, it didn't even feel like a it didn't even feel like I was talking to Kobe. It just felt like a normal conversation. Like I'm talking to you guys, or if I'm talking to my mom or friend, like it just felt like we were just talking going back. And then after, obviously, you know, there's other people who want to photos, videos. So I was like, all right, thank you, Kobe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And he's like, because I told him the situation that happened where I wasn't with my previous job anymore and I got fired and how that was for me. And he was like, hey, if you really love this and you want to do it, just Mamba mentality all the way through. Just keep going, never stop, never give up, and always work on your craft. And so growing up, I thought Mamba mentality was just about basketball, just working hard on the court and just outworking and outcompeting my opponent. And then after I met him at USC, and in my head, I'm like, Mamba mentality is just, it's still working hard, but it's working hard with a passion, it's working hard with a belief. Like, it's that thing that like, even if I do mess up, even if I do fail, that it's not gonna set me back. Because I've heard a lot of quotes like, oh, every L you take isn't an L, it's a loss, or like every or you know all them like little losses and lessons and failure quotes and stuff like that. Like I've took 100 L's, but I never took a loss. They're all lessons and learning and stuff like that. And so that's what I kind of thought it meant to me then as I progressed. But it ended up meaning more to me later. So fast forward a year after I met Kobe at USC, I started working with Slam Magazine and doing videos and photos with them freelance. And I remember it was Christmas break. And at the time I didn't have a car, so I was taking the bus to the train all the way from Los Angeles all the way to North Cal. So that's like a 7.5 hour bus train ride. And so I had nothing but time. And I remember getting a call from the director for Slam, Brian LaRussa, shout out to Brian. To Brian LaRussa, and he called me, he's like, hey, are you free at the end of the month? There's this event called Made Hoops. We've been working with them. They're a really great company that's starting up. They do middle school sports, and they have an event close to you. Are you free to go? How's your availability? I was like, yeah, I'm free to go. Where is it at? Like, is it like in Cali? He's like, it's in Arizona. So, you know, you'll be going to Arizona and recording. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm down. And he sent me the date, the time, and all the information. And so then about the day before my flight from Arizona, I called Bryant again. I'm like, hey, I know you guys are working with May Hoops and you started. Is there any like team or player or any like specific game that's like really good that we should watch out for, or anything as far as that? And he was like, naming off some teams. And then he went by the team, the Mamba. I was like, whoa, Team Mamba? Like Kobe Bryant Mamba? It's like, yeah, they have a girls team who plays Team Mamba, and all the girls like the Mambacitas and stuff. And at the time, like a month before, I agree, like, yeah, I'm gonna go on there. But I'm not like, I don't wanna say I'm not the biggest fan of middle school basketball, but like when you like watch NBA in college and high school, middle school, like you appreciate it because you can watch them grow and develop, and you can see the talent level that they have and all the potential. But it's not the fastest paced out of all of them. And so at first I was kind of hesitant on the middle school. I was like, but I was like, I really want to go because I love watching people grow and develop. That's the biggest thing. So even though the tempo's slower, like I really want to go to meet the connections and meet people and watch them develop. And so he went by Team Mamba, and I'm like, Team Mamba? So you're telling me Kobe's gonna be there? And he's like, I can't tell you for sure, but he's the head coach, so he might be there. So I'm sitting there like, you didn't start the conversation with, do you want to meet Kobe? When you called me a month ago on the bus, you didn't start with like a Kobe event and hype it up like that. But I'm happy I did the event regardless, because I met so many amazing people from May Hoops. I ended up meeting Kobe again and plenty other things. And so after I get on the flight and I go to Arizona, and so right when I get to Arizona, the first day I go around, I record like a bunch of different people, a bunch of different games. And then at the end of the day, Bryant called and he was like, we're gonna try and see if we can get some extra footage behind the scenes with Kobe. So we're gonna talk to his manager and everyone and see if it's okay if you do like go in with the team, do an interview and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, cool, just call me back in the morning and tell me what they say. So I go to sleep, I wake up, and then Brian calls me back. He's like, yeah, they kind of want to focus on the tournament. They really don't want to do interviews and stuff. They want to focus on the girls and do well. And so they said no. And I was like, all right, that's fine. I mean, I can't be mad. He's put the girls on the team first before his name, which is an honorable and respectable thing. So I'm like, all right, cool. And so I go to the event that afternoon, and I'm recording a game. And I'm just sitting there recording, I'm recording. And then someone runs up and taps me on the shoulder. And like, when I record, I turn off my phone. Not turn it off, I put it on Do Not Disturb. Like, yo, what are you doing? I was like, what do you mean, what am I doing? Like, bro, where's your phone at? We've been calling you and texting you. Like, it's right here, having on Do Not Disturb. I'm trying to record the game. Like, bro, last second, Kobe said yes to the interview and you can be with like the girls and record and stuff. Like, you're gonna go or what? They've been waiting for you. I was like, oh. I look at my phone, I got all these calls and texts. I'm like, oh shoot, Kobe's waiting. I got the GOAT waiting. Man, I never ran so quick across the freaking gym. It was like 8 courts. I'm over here full sprinting, dodging kids, babies, jumping, flipping. I get over there, I'm out of breath. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. My name's Tim. And it was, you know, the assistant and like one of the owners and assistants that worked with Kobe. And he's like, yeah, he's in there with the girls right now and they're talking and stuff. And so once they get out and they start warming up, he'll talk to you for a little bit and then you can meet the girls and come in with us and all that stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm trying to catch my breath now. I'm trying to relax. You know, I'm over here excited. Like, I get to meet him again. Like, is he gonna remember who I am? Like, maybe I should not bring that up because I know he meets hundreds of people all the time. So the girls finally come out and, you know, I shake his hand. I'm like, hey, Kobe, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for doing this with Made Hoops and Slam. And I appreciate the footage and videos. He's like, yeah, no problem. And so we're just standing there and I'm like, should I ask him? Should I tell him? I'm like, I was like, hey, Kobe, I don't know if you remember me or not, but I actually met you before last year. I mean, I know you meet a lot of people, but I met you before last year and I remember some of the words you told me and it just really inspired me to keep working hard. He's like, yeah, I remember you at USC. That's when I was courtside and you came out of USC and you're telling me you were doing photos and videos and you said you're gonna do a lot of freelance. So how's that been going? I froze. I'm not gonna lie, I froze. I'm like, yo, Kobe remembers me. We talked once, one day for 5 minutes, and a whole year later, he remembered what we talked about, where we were. I'm just here stunned. I'm like, I honestly didn't think he would remember. Like, you meet someone that you love and cherish and respect and idolize, and you talk to him for a couple minutes, you're not gonna think like, if I see him in a year or two, like, they're gonna remember me, but he remembered me. And I'm like, yeah, it's going good. I'm working with Slam Magazine right now, and I've been doing more freelance, but I've been working with them a lot. He's like, oh yeah, I love Slam. Like, they're good friends of mine, so you know, let me know if they don't treat you right. You know, black people making jokes and stuff. I'm like, thanks. And that was just a moment for me. Like, it was just another moment that I can only think about, but when I think about it, it's just appreciation. Like, those little things that you appreciate the most. Like, if I would have never, like, I look back and I'm like, at that moment, I'm just looking back, like, what are the chances, like, I would meet him again, he would remember me, like, me being devastated from not working with my previous job and working in college, like, what were the chances I would be standing here with him again? And that moment was just a moment of realization that he remembered me and such, and it just felt amazing. And true, honest blessing, because I couldn't control any of that. It's just a God-given blessing. And so we record the game and we end up doing an interview and hanging out after the game. The girls won. Hanging out after the game. I actually didn't have the equipment to mic them up, but I can show some footage at the bottom. Copyrighted Slam, of course, but just show some footage and videos of the game. And the team was amazing, they did good. And then I talked to Kobe after and I was like, thank you so much for doing the interview and everything. You welcomed me into the team and such. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be doing all the Made Hoop events. And I was like, hopefully, it's my first time, so hopefully I can do the next one. He's like, all right, well, the next one's at the Mamba facility. So if I see you there, awesome. And we parted ways, and that was just an amazing moment. So a month went by, and we're at the next Made Hoops tournament at the Mamba's facility in Los Angeles. And so within that month, like personally, a lot has been going on with my family and in my life, because my mother was recently diagnosed with cancer, a very rare type of breast cancer that only about 15% of women who get breast cancer have. And so that's been hard for me for the last couple months, because at this point in time, it was, we're in January, but when we first heard about the news was the September. So my mom's been going through chemo and checkups, and she's through that process. She's about to be doing a couple more chemos and then radiation. So it's been hard for me. It's been hard for my family, but especially hard for my mom. But God willing, and God being next to her the whole time, she kept battling and she kept fighting with His amazing blessings and grace. And so we're at the Mamba facility, and I see Kobe again, and we're just chatting it up, just catching up, like, oh, how was your month and all that stuff. And then the girls play, and then it's the next day, and I call my mom in the morning, and she said she wasn't feeling well, like she's been really nauseous and stuff, and I'll just tell her rest, and pray he'll be all right. And then after I hung up the phone, I'm just sitting there at the facility, and I'm like, I want to do something more. Like, that's my mom, that's my world. Like, she's hurting, I'm hurting. If she's down, I'm down. She wasn't having the best day. And I know, like, for my career and stuff, I can't have a terrible attitude or be kind of down. Like, you want to be happy around the people there. You want to, smile and stuff like that. And I was thinking, I was like, what can I do to kind of lift my mom's mood? What can I do to cheer her up? And I was like, growing up, we were big Kobe fans, and I'm with him. So after the tournament, after the last game, I'm gonna walk up to him, and I'm just gonna ask him. Ask him for some words of wisdom, if he can just tell my mom something that can enlighten her. So that's my idea. And so after I record the girls' game, they had 2 games that day, they won both. I record the girls' game, and so we're going up into the locker room, and I'm recording stuff, and I just tap him on the shoulder real quick. I'm like, hey Kobe, after you give the girls a speech, can I talk to you about something really important? Do you mind stepping aside and me talking to you real quick? He's like, yeah, let me just go talk to the girls and tell them pack up and stuff, and I'll come back out. So he goes in there, he talks to the girls, and then he comes back out. And I was looking at him, he's like, hey, so what's up? And I just started, I wasn't crying, but I was tearing up. I was like, this is really personal for me, and it is something hard to talk about, but I just wanted to ask you something. He was like, yeah, we could step in this room, and all the rooms are glass, and so everyone can see us, and everyone knows where he's at, because, if Kobe goes missing at his event, his facility, that shit, that ain't gonna happen. So, I got the bodyguard, the clear glass, and we're talking, it was like, my mom is really sick, and she has a rare form of cancer, a rare form of breast cancer, and it's been really hard for me. It's really been hard for her and the family. And we're all big Kobe fans growing up, especially them. And I was just hoping if you could just record a video just trying to give her some words of inspiration or something to help her get through, because she's been going through a hard time battling cancer. And he's like, yeah, no problem, I got you. Yeah, I got you right now. And so I just pick up my phone, I press record, and he started going.
Mama Leona, what's going on? It's Kobe here, and you got a great kid here on your hands, and you're in our prayers, you're in my prayers. My family will be praying for you, and let's do this. God don't give us nothing we can't handle, right? So just know you're in our thoughts, you're in our prayers, and you'll be just fine, all right? Mamba mentality, this thing all the way through. Much love.
So that was the video, and after we're done recording the video, You know, I paused, I put it in my pocket. And I just started breaking down in tears because everything he said and the words he said was straight from the heart, and something that it wasn't scripted. It's not like, Kobe, can you say this, this, and this, or can you do this for me? Like, I just asked, can you make a video to make my mom feel better? And everything he said in the video just meant the world. Like, Mamba mentality is all the way through. God doesn't give us nothing we can't handle. You're gonna be just fine. Like, those words of comfort, those words of affirmation, that positivity, I just started breaking down crying. I was like, I started thinking about my mom, how she hasn't been well. And I'm just tearing up. And he just holds me in his arms and just like in his shoulders. And I'm just crying. And first thing I say is like, I'm so sorry for crying and acting like this in front of you. I'm so sorry. Like, it's just emotional for me. He's like, hey, don't worry about it. Like, I know it's a tough time for you, a tough time for your family, especially your mom. I've had people in my life who's battled different types of cancers and things like that before, but the biggest thing is that you just have to Mamba mentality through. And I know I've told you that before, but when I say Mamba mentality, like, you have to be her rock right now. Like, when she's down, you got to pick her up. When she needs help, you have to be there for her. When your family, they're not as positive or as positive minded, you have to be there. Like, you have to be solid. I'm not saying you don't have to be in your emotions, you don't have to hurt, you don't have to cry, but when they're down, you got to be solid. You got to be there for them. That Mamba mentality that, like, it's hard, it's going to be hard, but we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. Like, the Lord's going to be with you. God doesn't give us nothing we can't handle. Nothing. So just Mamba mentality, and just be there for her, be there for your family, just be strong. Biggest thing is you just gotta be strong. And he's saying all those words to me, I'm just crying on his shoulder, I'm just tearing up, and I finally get myself together, wipe my eyes, I'm like, thank you, Kobe, thank you so much, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow at the next round of games. She's like, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. If you need anything, or if your family needs anything, if you need anything, just let me know. We'll be there, we'll help you, because I know it's a hard time. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. So I have the video that Kobe made for my mom, and I call my mom on FaceTime. I'm like, hey mom, what are you doing right now? I want to send you something, and I think you'll appreciate it and you'll like it, like something to make you feel better, because I know you haven't been in the best mood. Hold on my phone, I'm talking to her now, I'm visualizing, my bad. And when she called me and she answered, she was actually at the hospital. She was in the ER, she was in the emergency room. And I was like, I just talked to you this morning, I know you felt like sick and nauseous, because that's what chemo, you throw up, you feel nauseous, but like, she was in the ER, I was like, what happened? And I'm just freaking out. And you know, moms, they're trying to stress you out as a child. She's like, don't worry about it, I'm gonna be fine. Doc said I'm gonna be fine. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna send you this video, because she always tells me she's gonna be fine, because she you know how mamas be, that mama bear, they can't let them down or feel weak in front of their children. So I just said okay, because I'm not gonna go back and forth until she tells me what's really going on. So I was like, okay, I wanna send you something, I wanna send you a video. I'm gonna send it to you real quick, call me back after you watch it. So I sent her the video that Kobe made, and she called me back on FaceTime, and she's just crying. She's like, when you see Kobe tomorrow, tell him thank you, give him a hug for me, tell him your mom appreciate it, like, just tell him thank you. She's just crying right there in the hospital. And she's like, I just showed the nurses and the doctors, and she's just tearing up, and like, it just felt like a relief. Like, after seeing someone in pain, seeing someone in hurt, seeing someone go through something so traumatic and terrible, like seeing her actually cry again, but tears of joy instead of pain, we were just both on FaceTime just crying. Like, she was just happy that Kobe said those things. I was just happy to see her feel good and happy. And it's just, nothing changed in the situation. I'm not there with her, she's at the ER, but that moment that Kobe gave us, those words he gave us, that inspiration he gave us, she was like, I'm gonna get through this, the ER, we gonna get through this, we gonna be all right, the Lord's, what did he say? He said, the Lord don't give us no we can't handle. She's tearing up, and it's just amazing feeling. And I was just so thankful that he said those things and actually meant it. And so the next day goes by, we got one more game of the tournament. And so I wake up And I have like, I guess like social media sites and stuff posted it, and I got like my phone's blowing up and all these messages because it was weird because I sent the video to my mom, but then also I posted the video on my Instagram and my Twitter, and I was just, thank you so much, Kobe, for the words of inspiration you gave me and being there for my mother and family. I posted on my social media sites like right after I sent it to my mom, so I went to bed and woke up, had all these notifications and stuff and videos, and it was like apparently trending and going viral and all that stuff. I really don't go on social media that much. I only use like Snapchat, but trending and viral and like all these other like Balls Live and Slam, everyone's like posting and stuff, and I'm like, oh, cool. And then like I seen him the next day, and I just told him what my mom told me to tell. I was like, hey, she appreciated it, thank you for everything. I gave him a hug. I was like, it means the world to me. I appreciate all that stuff. And that was when I met Vanessa. I never met Vanessa Bryant. And I remember when I met Vanessa courtside right before the game, I walked up and I was like, hey Vanessa, I do videos and photography with Slam, and I know you don't step out the house that much, but I was wondering if I could have your consent to take photos and videos of the game, like just a couple B-roll shots, and then like if someone scores, if I could, you cheering, if you mind that. She's like, oh no, I don't like being on camera and video. I just want to, it's not about me, I just want to be here for the girls and my daughter, Gianna and stuff. I was like, all right, cool. I just wanted to ask you first because like, I know as a celebrity, people just walk up with cameras and videos in your face, and I didn't want to do that. Like, I wanted your consent and permission. I just want to just throw you, you know, on social media and the internet stuff. She's like, I really appreciate that. Not many people really do that. Yeah, thank you. And I just, you know, we just exchanged for a little bit and ended up recording the game. And then when I checked the next day on my phone, I ended up seeing that Vanessa sent this beautiful message in the comments. I'm gonna put the picture right here. She sent this beautiful message, and she didn't have to. Like, she didn't have to be nice to me and send that message. Kobe didn't have to be generous multiple times at the facility or at Phoenix or USC. He didn't have to be like that. And so moments like that is just, I don't know. It's just appreciate it. I appreciate her. I appreciate Kobe. I appreciate everyone, all the mamacitas, all the mama girls. I just appreciate everyone. It's just a loss for words. Because at the same time that Vanessa said that, I looked on Twitter the other day because I turned off my notifications because like it was trending and stuff, and then I seen Kobe actually tweeting me like, oh, love brother, you'll get through it, like mama mentality this thing through. And like at that moment, I just felt, I don't know, like that comfort feeling, like just all the things going on in my life with my family and my mom and school, and just like wasn't the happiest point in my life, but to see such positivity from people who are idolized and people I looked up to, like it just felt good. Like Kobe calling me brother, him knowing me, us having a conversation, like Vanessa being so nice and willing to talk to me, all the girls on the team, like all the girls on the team were so welcoming. They're so amazing. It's just a moment that like, I think about it now, and at those times, I just froze a lot. Cause I would just sit there and think like, what is going on? Like, I'm taking a flight to Phoenix to see Kobe. What is going on? Like, I'm talking to Kobe right now. He just made a video for my mom. Like, what is going on? I'm just having these moments. I'm just so confused and I don't know what's going on, but it just felt just beautiful. Like, you can't explain God's wonders. And those are just moments of like, I know I don't deserve it, but the Lord just keeps blessing me. He keeps loving me. I don't know why. I feel like I don't deserve it. And it's just moments of breakthroughs. I had to say a prayer and just say thank you. It's just moments of breakthroughs. All right, so it was the last game of the tournament, and the tournament ends. And so, you know, I tell the girls bye, all the mamacitas, and tell Kobe and everything bye, and I just told him thank you again. I couldn't stop telling him thank you because it just meant the world that he made that video. I told him thank you again, and He's like, yeah, just remind me, like, if you need help, if you need anything, just let me know. Just reach out. And he ended up giving me 2 t-shirts, one for me and my mom, like Mamba Sports Facility shirts. He gave that to her as a gift. And so, you know, I said thank you again. I just can't stop saying thank you. It's just beautiful moments. And the last thing that I talked to and told him about the tournament was thank you. And he's like, yeah, no problem. I appreciate you with the footage and coming to our games and with the girls. So I'll see you next month. See you next month at the next tournament. I was like, yeah, I'll see you then. And so, you know, I head home and I pop up with my mom. I give her the amazing shirts Kobe gave us. We're chatting it up, you know, telling her what I said. And she had all these questions like, what'd you say? Like, how'd you approach him? I'm telling her. And then after, I'm asking her about her conditions, how she's doing, because she's still in the ER while we're having this conversation. And, you know, we try on the shirts and we're just chatting, catching up. And everything, you know, she out the ER and everything was better. And so we, you know, fast forward right before the tournament, it was probably a couple weeks before the next Made Hoops tournament. I'm working at a slam event and I'm recording. It was like Battle of the Clash or something in North Carolina, I don't remember. I'm recording and then I get a call on my phone while I'm recording. Like I said, I usually have my phone on Do Not Disturb, but like I have certain calls like my mom, my dad, like people like that to come through no matter what, texts and calls for emergency purposes. And my mom called me and she's on the phone crying and tearing up, and I thought something happened to her, but she's calling me crying and I'm like, Mom, it's okay, like what are you crying? Like, it's okay. And she's like, did you hear the news? I was like, what are you talking about? What news? Like, are you okay? She's like, I'm fine, but Kobe passed away. And I'm just standing there in the gym, and it didn't make sense that I didn't believe it. Like, my mom's crying, she's like, Kobe passed away. And I was like, what are you talking about? He passed away. Like, no, he didn't. Like, don't say that. It didn't make sense. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? And they're like, they were in a helicopter, Kobe, his daughter and some passengers, and it crashed. And I'm like, no, this shit's not happening, it's just not real. And I walked out the arena. I stopped recording, I walked out the arena, and I just stopped crying. When my mom called me, it was just so many emotions running, like Kobe, like, assuming Kobe passed, I still didn't believe it. So like him passing, like the crying, I just had a flush emotion of confusion. Like, what does she mean? Like, he's not here. Like, he was just with us. I just seen him. Like, and I'm just crying there, like in the middle of just crying there outside in the street, just crying and crying and crying. Like, I'm just so confused. Like, as everybody was. When everyone heard the news, I just know you guys had the same reaction, just crying and confused and didn't know what was going on. And we're just still a year later. It's just, I'm still in disbelief a year later. And I'm still crying in the street, and I'm talking to my mom, and she just asked, like, as she's crying, she's like, did you tell him what I said? You tell him what I said? You tell him what I said? I said, yes, I told him thank you 100 times. I told him you love him. I told you appreciate it. Like, it's just crazy. And it just really hurt for me because the last time I seen him, the last thing I told him was thank you. But the last thing he told to me is that I'll see you at the next event next month. And I never got that chance to see him again. I feel like I'll never have that chance to fully just thank him. He just did so much for me, like mentally and emotionally, and for my family, that it just happened so quick. Like, we just started this connection, we just met. He's been such a big figure in my life, a support to my mom, a support to me. And in 1 second it was gone, and I was just crying, because I feel like I didn't show how much, or tell him how much he meant to me, and the gratitude. I just feel like I could never like, I feel like I could never just, I don't know. I just feel like I can just never just show or tell him how much he meant to me and my mother and my family, and all the beautiful things he said and done in my life, and from him inspiring me from a child to an adult. Like, I feel like I can just never explain how much that meant to me. And I told myself I was gonna make this video for my birthday, because for my birthday on the 24th, I turned 24, and I was gonna make it, because on social media people like the Kobe year and Jordan year when they turned 23 and stuff like that. I was gonna put Kobe in and put pictures of us. And I've been prolonging this video, making it for so long, because it's a hard topic. I just think about everything that goes on, and I didn't think I was there yet, mentally and emotionally. Like, I still haven't watched the funeral and the burial on TV. I still haven't seen certain things, because it's a cut. I feel like that's not gonna ever heal. Like, Kobe being gone shit's never gonna heal. It's not. But I just wanted to make something to just shed a light on what he meant to me, who he was in my life, how I met him, everything he told me. I just wanted to shed a light, and I'm making the video now. A year later, it took me a year to finally do this, and I have a couple notes here and bullet points, but I just wanted to. I know I stuttered a lot, I messed up a lot, but I just wanted to be honest and from the heart. I didn't want to write a script. Yeah, it's hard. It's unreal to me still, but thank you guys so much for watching this video and tuning in. And again, prayers to the families and the friends, everyone's lives who was lost from this tragedy. And yeah, just keep your faith in God and put trust in Him. And my mentality all the way through. God don't give us nothing we can't handle. So if you're going through something hard, pray to God, talk to God. He'll hear you. Even when you're alone and when you feel like you're all by yourself and no one's there for you, He will always be there for you. Always be there for you. Like, this is almost the end of the video, but I get a little off topic, but one of my favorite Bible stories growing up, you guys can look it up, it's called Footprints in the Sand. I'll just tell it quickly so you guys can get a general idea, but the footprints in the sand is that someone's walking on the beach with the Lord, and they're walking through their whole life and everything that they've been through. And as they're looking at the timeline and the time lapse of all the events, there's two set of footprints, one of the Lord's and one of the person they're walking with. But at the hardest points of their life and like the most tragic and depressing and hard points of their life, there's only one set of footprints. And so I turn around and ask God, you said you would always be there for me. You said you would never forsake me. In my greatest moments of my life, I see two sets of footprints, but at the times when I need you the most, I only see one set. I only see me Like, where were you? You said you'll never leave me, you'll never forsake me. And then the Lord just says, my child, those times when you needed and you see one set of footprints, those was me carrying you in my set of footprints. And that story always stuck out to me since a child until now, because even when we think we're going through it alone and think we can't do anymore and think it's just us or nobody, he's always there with us. The Lord's always there with us, carrying us, helping us, fighting battles we can't see. And yeah, just keep your faith in God and you'll be just fine.